What's up, everybody? This is Chris Sarabri. Another edition of the Car Concierge Show, the show that helps with the buying, selling, maintaining, and repairing of your vehicle, and so much more. On today's show, we're going to talk about how the online car industry is growing, and it's about to take over the natural way that car dealerships work. Also, we're going to talk about all the horrible fights that we had this week. We're going to talk about the Tank Roach fight, which was botched, is the best way I'm going to say it. I didn't like the end of that. And of course, we're going to talk about the fight between Trump and Zelensky. All right, let's jump into it. All right, first up, let's check out a story about Carvana as they start to purchase dealerships to advance the online sale of cars. This is going to be a reader, so we're going to read this one real quick. And of course, go head over to Automotive News for all our automotive news. So, Carvana moves into franchise ownership with purchase of Stellantis store. And this is by CJ Moore from February 28th. Carvana Company closed on a deal February 28th to acquire a franchise dealership in its home state of Arizona. It marks a potentially bold move into a new vehicle sales for the online retailer, which since 2013 has sold only used vehicles. Carvana bought Jerry Seiner Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Casa Grande, Arizona, roughly 45 miles south of Tempe, Arizona, where the company is headquartered. Carvana confirmed the deal to Automotive News. A transaction price was not disclosed. A Carvana spokesperson provided the following statement via email to Automotive News. We're always experimenting, and this is a small test in a single market. We are excited to join the Stellantis network, and our focus in this test will be learning how to provide great customer experience at a franchise dealership. We don't expect it to have any noticeable impact to our results for the foreseeable future. The dealership will be renamed Casa Grande Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Carvana plans to reopen the store under the new name March 3rd and retain all 41 employees. I highly doubt that. Jerry Seiner dealerships of Salt Lake City sold the dealership to Carvana. Now let me just touch on that real quick. It says they're going to retain all 41 employees. It's not going to happen. It never does. I've been through a couple of ownership transitions where they stated that they were keeping all the employees, and in every situation they didn't keep all the employees. They, of course, and this statement that they're going to retain all the 41 employees is a misnomer in itself, because if you do this, you take over another dealership, you got to some degree weed out the bad apples, and what they're going to do, of course, is they're going to retain all 41 employees at first. That's what it is. They're going to at first, and then of course they're going to review your work ethic, your desire to be there, and all of these type of things, and then they're going to start weeding people out. So, Jerry Seiner dealerships of Salt Lake City sold the dealership to Carvana. Chris Heimsmeyer, son-in-law of the late dealer Jerry Seiner, told the Phoenix Business Journal the dealership group will continue to operate its Chevrolet store in Casa Grande. The Business Journal was the first to report the acquisition. CarMax Inc., Carvana's competitor and the largest used vehicle retailer in the U.S., once owned new vehicle franchise dealerships. Its ownership of those operations began in the mid-1990s, when then Chrysler Corporation granting them a franchise to a fledgling CarMax made waves, and lasted until it divested of its remainder of its new vehicle stores in 2021. At the time, CarMax said it was selling its few remaining new vehicle franchises to focus on the highly fragmented used vehicle market. All right, so a couple things that we can take from this story is that, and this is just another I told you so for you guys when I was stating a while back about how the online car market is going to take over, and brick and mortar dealerships are going to start to go away. There's a lot of brick and mortars that are already sold. There's a lot of brick and mortar dealerships that are just empty buildings right now. I know, because I am in the desire to purchase a car dealership. So I know that there's a lot of, locations that are not selling cars anymore, and that they're able to be purchased. And, Carvana is one of those online dealers that I talk about a lot, and they, because I majorly sell cars online myself. Um, and it's just easier. It's the only caveat or problem, of course, with selling cars online is that if you don't have the ability to look at the car yourself, or to have a good person to examine the car before it's given to the owner, you have a lot of problems. So I've had a lot of, in my other industry, I've had a lot of Carvana cars that have come in with problems after the car was delivered to the customer that I had to take care of, which is, in most cases they're minor things, but tires, not being good, leaks in cars. I've had a couple of those, just minor things that you would like to take care of before they're delivered to the customer, so the customer's not dealing with them. And so it's just about customer service and making sure you're delivering the great products. And I personally, in most cases, when I sell my cars online, I'm able to look at the car and review the car, have somebody else check the car out before I deliver it to a customer. Not all the time, but of course, I have a large network of automotive people that I work with, so I can, most cases, find somebody that can look at the car before it's delivered to the customer, so I know that it's a good vehicle and know that they're going to be satisfied. So, but with Carvana buying this dealership, it could be a situation where they're just going to set up, one of their vending machine type locations there. I know that they are continue to buy locations to do the vending machine situation, which they favor. But they are specifically talking about turning this into a real dealership, selling new and used cars, and particularly Stellantis cars. So this is not a blow for Stellantis, because I was kind of going to lean that way. I don't like Stellantis very much, but it's not a blow to Stellantis. This is a opportunity for Stellantis, because with Carvana holds its base in selling cars online. So that in itself should help this dealership be very successful, because they'll have the opportunity to not only sell to customers that come in, but have a big stake and a big ability to sell their cars online and to make this dealership successful. So I see this being a great thing for Stellantis. I see it being a great thing for Carvana. And I see it being a told you so when I state that the online car selling regiment is taking over. So let's keep going. Let's talk about this Tank Roach fight. It was a good fight, and it was a good card the whole night. I saw a lot of great fights. A lot of great things happened, on this card for the PBC, but not this fight. This is the fight was back and forth. It was a lot of good action, a lot of good punches. Tank was doing his fantastic double jab, and he got Lamont Roach with that a couple times. But the truth is that Lamont Roach got robbed. We're gonna review some of the footage real quick, and it was a great fight. It was a really back and forth. Tank was getting in some good shots. His jab is always awesome. Like right there, the jab is always awesome. He's always good for the jab, and the fight was contentious, but Roach was getting some good shots in too. Great shots in, actually. Couple of great jabs, couple of great body shots. He fumbled Tank a couple times, almost had him falling a couple times. So it was back and forth until what happened in the 9th round, and this is how we know he got robbed. He hit him, and there was the shot before. Let me go back a little bit. This was a shot that he took. Nice straight right. Got him in the eye. Hurt him a little bit. And this fool goes ahead and decides that he going to take a knee. Now, I don't know if you guys are big into boxing. Of course, I am, because this is what I do to some degree. But if you take a knee, that's a knockdown. If you are buckled to the point where you take a knee, that's a knockdown. So The points should have been deducted. This fool not only takes a knee, which if I was Lamont Roach, I would have started. Well, you could. He was taking a knee. You can't start peppering him. I'm thinking more UFC. But he takes a knee and then he gets up off the knee and runs to his corner. Let's keep it going. He runs to his corner. Like this is cool, like this is accepted. And another thing about, Tank in this fight, he continued to yell and argue with the ref and yell and argue with his coaches in his corner. It was super, super devious, and then, and it just culminated with him just taking a random knee like it was cool. And this is where it becomes a problem for the boxing industry. Them points should have been taken. Lamont Roach should have won this fight. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Lamont should have won this fight. The fight, if you look at the card, the final card, it was so close to the point where if he would, look at the stats. I mean, he culminated more punches. The power was, of course, with that jab, Tank had the power, but look at it. Lamont Roach hit him with more jabs. The stats show that Lamont Roach should have won this fight. And that's the problem with the boxing industry right now. It's just become a popularity contest. And if you don't win the fight outright, this is what happens. The most popular fighter is going to get the belt. It's just, this is a travesty. He got completely and utterly robbed. There's no way that Tank Davis should have won this fight. He should have lost points when he took a knee. He should have never been allowed to take a knee. He was acting like a diva the whole fight. So it probably was. It's one of those situations where this is why people have started to get away from the boxing industry. These type of situations where you get into these fights and they're great fights. Absolutely fantastic fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, to the point where we would have been extremely satisfied with this fight if the fight went the way it did and he didn't drop to the knee and go to his corner. If it wasn't the dropping to the knee and going to the corner, no one could complain about the outcome of this fight. But with that being said and being done, those points should have been taken. Why weren't they taken? Why wasn't those points taken? Even the referee told him, hey, you can't do that. If you told him you can't do that, why didn't you do something about it? So it's a travesty. It's really, Lamont Roach should have won this fight, period. That's all I can really say. All right, so let's keep it going. And let's go to the last and, of course, extremely more important fight that happened this week between Trump and Zelensky when they met in the Oval Office. Now, I know that you guys have seen the footage from that meeting several times from different angles and different talking points, and I'm gonna give my opinion on that situation at the end. But what I really want to do is get the opinion of people from around the world. So we're gonna watch two separate videos about people from around the world and how they feel about what happened between Trump and Zelensky.
After that fiery clash between US and Ukrainian presidents, Ukraine as well as the world is now bracing for a possible halt in US support to Kiev, along with a possible stronger alliance with Europe against Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Soon after his meeting with US President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, the Ukrainian President Zelensky met the Ukrainian diaspora in Washington, where he received a standing ovation. In a social media post on Saturday alongside footage of the meeting, Zelensky said it was very important that Ukraine's plight was heard and not forgotten. Now, across nations, the heated exchanges between Trump, J.D. Vance and Zelensky, of course, drew diverse reactions from ordinary people with views supporting either president for their conduct.
If a country has no power or is useless, it gets out of the alliance. The U.S. does not step up for everything these days. The interest of the country is first, So our country needs to be stronger economically and also needs nuclear program. That is what I think.
Wait a minute.
But my opinion,
why would Korea think they need nuclear power? Maybe he was talking about the Ukraine. Let's keep going.
is that Zelensky was very self-opinionated, the fact that America hasn't helped them, but where America has helped them for a long, long time. I can't say what's going to come out of it, to be truthful, in the end, but I think something more has to happen before this finally does come to, but where America has helped them for a long, long time. I can't say what's going to come out of it, to be truthful, in the end, but I think something more has to happen before this finally does come to an end. But it's just crazy, the fact that Zelensky, he basically rejected the fact that anybody was helping me, and he was seemed very ungrateful.
That's kind of my sentiment too. I mean, it did seem a little bit ungrateful, and you know, it's just a situation where I think that Trump believes that we've helped out the other countries so much that he wants reciprocity, and I want reciprocity. I understand that, and you know, it did seem to me to some degree that Zelensky didn't understand that we've been giving you support for forever, and he rejected that idea that we've been supporting him. I mean, maybe Zelensky sees Trump as not being the person that supported him, because the support they were, you know, standardly getting was when Biden was in office. So if he looked at it in a way that he's not getting the support for Trump, that would be wrong, because what Trump and J.D. Vance is saying, that you were getting the support from America, from the United States of America. And that's who Trump and J.D. Vance represent. So you can't sit here and act like we weren't the ones that gave you the support. The United States of America gave you the support. It wasn't us in this presidency that was giving you that support, but you were getting that support. So to act like you weren't getting that support from us because we are now the ones, the president and vice president, is not the way to look at it. So let's look at it.
Not at all. Any negotiations are a debate between the parties, and the level of intelligence of each party determines the method of negotiations.
True.
It can be a vulgar swearing, or it can be highly intelligent, subtle, within the framework of the legislative basis of negotiations and so on. So this is a normal process.
It seems to me that Zelensky should not be taken seriously at all. He is just a clown, there are people behind him, and he just plays his role. That's all. I don't take these meetings seriously at all, to be honest, because all the decisions are made by other people on a completely different level. That's all.
Look at it. That's a different. Now, mind you, she was in Moscow, so I mean, her opinion is going to be extremely biased to some degree, but she hit it. She hit it. All right, so let's check out one more breakdown of what everybody is thinking when it comes to this situation, and I'm gonna let y'all get up out of here. It's gonna be a short show. It's been a rough day.
World leaders have flocked around Volodymyr Zelensky in support after his furious, historic row with Donald Trump in the Oval Office yesterday. Leaders from the EU piled in to back Ukraine and blame Russia, which has branded Zelensky an insolent pig after the clash. Trump accused Zelensky of not wanting peace and gambling with World War III during their meeting, which was supposed to end with the men signing the crucial minerals deal, but instead saw Zelensky leaving the White House early.
This is why I wanted to show this video, showing him leaving early, and the notification that they didn't sign the minerals deal that they were trying to sign. And I don't foresee this leading into any World War III or anything like that, because who would it be against? You can't have the United States and Russia against the Ukraine. That's just that's a destruction in itself. So, I don't know, unless you're saying that other countries are going to get with Ukraine and start a war with the. That's not viable.
Threatened to destabilise the entire Western alliance, but Europe has reacted by standing firm with Ukraine. Keir Starmer has spoken to both Trump and Zelensky since the feud, and a Downing Street statement said that
Russia illegally and unjustifiably invaded Ukraine. For 3 years now, Ukrainians have fought with courage and resilience. Their fight for democracy, freedom, and sovereignty is a fight that matters to us all. Canada will continue to stand with Ukraine and Ukrainians in achieving a just and lasting peace. But how much money has Canada sent to Ukraine to help? To say you stand with somebody is something. Okay, cool. I stand with you, but the U.S. has been supporting them. Standing and supporting is two different things. I stand for all kinds of stuff, but am I putting my support behind it? That is what's important. See, that's the problem. These countries are, in this particular situation, these countries are just talking about their stance. We're going to stand with you, which in some degree means that you're not standing against the U.S. because it's not the U.S.'s fight. And it seems to me that it's more about these people saying that they stand against the U.S. because of this incident between Zelensky and Trump. Is because all these comments are coming in after that statement. So this is more of a statement like, we're going to stand with you. But are you stand with UK completely against Russia, or you just stand with them against the idea that the U.S. is not going to help you anymore, or that you're into a fight with the U.S.? You know, it lacks a particular strength behind it when you just sit there and say you stand with somebody when you're not truly supporting what they have going on.
He retains unwavering support for Ukraine. The Prime Minister could be in a position to act as a bridge between the US and Ukraine after a positive meeting with Trump on Thursday. Starmer has not publicly criticised Donald Trump over his behaviour in the meeting. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said, "Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians do. Therefore, we are working on a common path to a lasting and just peace. Ukraine can rely on Germany and on Europe." And French President Emmanuel Macron, who also had a friendly meeting.
Back up a little bit. The people of Ukraine are defending their right to live. It's that simple. They deserve all the support they can get to defend this right and to live and prosper as a sovereign nation living in peace. Deserve all the support. How much support are you giving them? Because let's face it, what we're talking about is a fight between Zelensky and Trump, because, you know, there was the mention that, hey, we've been already helping you, supporting you for a long time. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to get some reciprocity. Like, nah, man, you don't deserve no reciprocity. You're supposed to be supporting us. That's not how it works. That's not how this president, our new President Trump, is leading the way. He's not leading the way. We're sitting there giving all of our money and our resources to other countries anymore. He understands that it's extremely important that we bear down and support our country first before we start handing out everything to everybody else. It's the most common statement would be the simple statement of, if you're in an airplane crash, put the thing over your mouth first before you help somebody else. And for centuries, the U.S. people have been helping everybody put their mask on first before we put ours on. And that's not what Trump is doing anymore. Let's keep going.
Emmanuel Macron, who also had a friendly meeting with Trump this week, was clear about where the responsibility for the war lay. He said, "There is an aggressor, Russia. There are people being aggressed, Ukraine. We were all right to help Ukraine and sanction Russia 3 years ago, and to continue doing so." The Kremlin is, unsurprisingly, thrilled by the growing US-Ukraine division. A spokesman smeared Zelensky on X by saying, "The insolent pig finally got a proper slapdown in the Oval Office." And Donald Trump is right. The Kiev regime is gambling with World War III.
All right, so I mean, that's what we're talking about. Well, you know, it's of course it's bad. You can't. There's no way of saying that this situation is not bad. But is it bad for the United States of America? Not really. I mean, what we're talking about is us, what we're going to do to support another country. And if they don't want our support, we don't have to give it to them. Now, I don't know all the details of the mineral deal. I don't know about any situations, because of course I've heard that there were Trump was asking for things from the Ukraine that they weren't ready to give up. I'm not sure about that. I don't know the parameters of the mineral deal or the parameters of any desires that they want from the support that we've already given. But the truth is that we have already given support. We've already supported Ukrainian people for quite some time. And prior to this presidency, for many a moon. So I don't think we're in a position, or I don't think that Ukraine is in a position to say that we haven't been supporting them. I don't think they have every right to deny or resist any deals that the U.S. puts in front of them because of the support that they've given us. But they can't deny that we've given them support, and they can't deny that for the longest time we've helped them in this war against Russia. Now, if Trump was the bosom buddy of Putin, as the world is trying to say he is, then you would expect that Trump would have a big desire to end this war, and to end this war in a way that it benefits Russia. But there's no evidence of that, and no evidence that he has put forth any ideas or any implemented any plans that would help Russia to complete this war and to pretty much take over the Ukraine. So the U.S. still continues to help the Ukraine. We still continue to send them support, even after this incident at the Oval Office. Now, if that support continues, I highly doubt it. I wouldn't continue that support. But I don't think that this was good for Zelensky. It's just not. Of course, it's not a good look for Trump, but it's not a bad look for Trump. Trump has to, and he has done this his whole, this whole presidential run right now. He's just shown that he's just doing everything in a way that a strong, powerful man would. So you can't be mad at that to any degree. You have to, some degree, accept that we're Americans. We're a part of the United States of America. So we have to believe and desire that this president is looking out for us. And that's what it looks like. It looks like he's definitely been looking out for us, definitely has our best interest at heart. So I'm not going to get into, the DEI situations and all the other things that the president has done, but we can definitely say that with the tariffs and all these things like that, he has tried his best to build up and support and strengthen the United States of America. So I'm going to let y'all get up out of here. It was still a short show. I just wanted to, really quickly talk about, life, man. Life is hard. So, you have to, I'm dealing with some situations right now, some family members who were living together, and of course it's one of those situations that you hear of more than you see, and it's where you have people living together, and a couple of people are paying that one main person whose name is on the lease so that they can pay the rent, and that person didn't pay the rent, and it's extremely frustrating. It's caused a lot of problems in my family. And the worst part is that you try to help the person who's done the wrong, and some women, let's put it bluntly, some women are resistant to responsibility, resistant to accountability, and resistant to doing the right thing, and it hurts. It hurts people. It hurts the people around them. A couple of my family members were displaced, and I had to help them find places to go, or other family members help them find places to go, and it's it's just a horrible situation when you have people in your family that are irresponsible and don't take other people's lives or thoughts into consideration. So you have to try your best, because us as men, we're gonna do whatever it takes to help these people, no matter what bad they do to others, because they're family and they're females. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we should let these people die on their swords and let them kill themselves, figuratively. But we never will, because we are men and we do what is best to help people, even when they do wrong, specifically if they're family members. So I will always do that, but of course my help will come with some scorn. It will come with some aggressiveness. It will come with some teaching. So that being said, you guys go out, you have you a great day. I'm Chris Surratt. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe to the show. Stay away from crazy women. And I'm out. Peace.